clear, and maybe the session can actually help in some way. Also, a different era of interaction that we are moving in, perhaps. So these are all experimental practices. Let's just hit the 4 and great. So I guess we should be just about to be able to start. I'll just introduce a little bit about myself. My name is Malika. I am a therapist for almost 14 odd years, I think. Stress management, different concepts of yoga are basically sessions that I have devised over the years to keep it to keep it to keep it an interactive sort of an exercise for people to for people to be able to understand what exactly yoga implies, because usually yoga has now been reduced down to a few practices like asanas and pranayama. I started off my work with a small organization that I made called Mrityunjay, and through Mrityunjay we have done varied kind of wellness programs for different organizations, for different individuals, and in yoga as a concept, as a therapy, we apply different aspects of yoga to basically heal whatever problem comes forth. So you would see that in yoga we also have the aspect of using the diet. We also have the aspect of asanas, of pranayam, of meditation, everything combined. So yoga is quite a holistic science in its own way. And I guess one of the aspects which we use ends of yoga therapy in order to bring about that kind of healing. And now, after the one of the other aspects that I wanted to introduce about myself is that yoga is the subject of my passion and of it's something that has come forth in my life, and I'm extremely humbled by its presence. I am a sadhak, trying to grow in the path of sadhana, trying to inculcate more and more understanding of this age-old science, because this is a science which has come down from our Rishi Munis, and it has come down as an understanding, as a realization in our own self. So for any person to be an honest or yoga therapist or anything to do with the field of yoga also has to understand that it's a continuous journey of self-realization. It's only then that the science would open up to us. And therefore, I'm just trying to be also a sincere sadhak in life and trying to cultivate and realize the different aspects of yoga in self-realization. This process, which is adhyam, is called as sadhana, which is constant practice and surrendering your own self towards practicing yoga. So yoga sadhana, from yoga sadhana comes yoga practice. So these are the ways that we are trying to keep the traditional aspect of yoga alive in our even dealing with the modern tools of therapy. If there are any questions which is surrounded around yoga therapy or something, please do let me know also. And this is one of the sessions that we could really highlight the very the very depth of yoga, because what we are understanding what we are understanding about yoga so far is something which is very limited to asanas and to pranayam, whereas yoga has got so much more to offer. So I think we have a little few of the people who have logged in, and I guess people would keep coming in, and I should be able to start now with my presentation, with what I have prepared for you guys as an aspect for stress management. So I'll just start to share the screen with you. Stress management. Stress management is usually a very it's sort of this concept which has basically been ignored in order of its understanding of how simple it is. Stress is essentially, what you want to understand is that when a stress strikes you, whether you are fighting it or you are flighting it, which means that you are either dealing with it or you are trying to run away from it. So, what exactly is stress? Because it's a very common thing right now. Almost everybody is speaking about stress all the time. So, I always like to stress upon to basically highlight the fact that what exactly is stress really. And stress as a definition is something which is rather interesting, because stress as a definition is going to tell us that. Second, guys, I think I'm just going to activate the stream again so that it's easy to. So, what is really the definition of stress? A pressure or worry which is caused in someone's life due to prevailing circumstances. Now, this is also a very interesting point to understand. That stress is essentially something which is very common. It is right now. Right now, I have to speak to so many people online. It is something which is of a stressful situation. Now, basically, it is a sort of a worry or a pressure which is caused due to prevailing circumstances, whatever you're facing right now. Maybe you're driving on the road. There is some amount of stress which is needed because that is the situation. Otherwise, you would be completely lost and you would not be able to drive properly. And what is the definition of being stressed? Being stressed is different from stress. When you are not able to relax, that is actually the definition of being stressed. So I always like to consider this as my favorite example. I'm sure that a lot of people have been through this particular situation. Imagine that you are basically cycling. It's a very green, clean area. And suddenly, this not so good looking dog is starting to run behind you. Now, what you do? Either you are going to fight it or are you going to run away from it. So there are multiple people who are going to give me multiple responses here. I understand that, and I'm starting to get a few responses saying that I'm going to run or I'm going to not run and I'm going to probably fight or something or not. But the point is this particular situation, what exactly is happening in the body? In order to understand stress, we have to understand this as an extreme position. So here is supposedly this nice guy. You can say that this is I, and there is this not so good looking dog which is running behind. Now, what is going to happen is that there is an impulse of stress in the body. As soon as the stress strikes in the body, there is a secretion of something which is called as a cortisol hormone, which is called a stress hormone in the body, which is going to tell you that either you need to fly away from this position or you need to fight this particular situation. And as a result of this, what happens physically is that your heart rate is going to increase and your glucose is going to really start metabolizing at an extra super rate, so that you are able to run, because you need all that energy, right, to run at that particular time. And then subsequently what will happen is that you're going to act or you're going to react. Either you are going to feel intelligent or probably you're going to hide, or you're going to use a stone to throw at the dog, or you're probably going to keep running. And subsequently, what's going to happen with the action or reaction? You're going to subsequently then secrete, which is called as relaxin hormone in the body, and then it'll bring back the normal functioning of the body. So now this is what is the body's reaction to stress. Now, what's going to happen is that this is something which we are seeing in everyday life. Let's just consider a few stressful situations and the body responses that we go through in everyday life. For example, everybody, we can see this thing, which is a bullfighting. Now we can imagine, no, I mean, this particular matador who's like trying to fight a huge bull. It's a very stressful situation. Let's just consider this for one time, or something which is more relatable, an interview, a job interview, perhaps. And what will happen with the cortisol secretion in the body? This person who's fighting the bull will have a quick burst of energy, which is basically the energy that is needed for survival at that particular time. So the ideas are going to strike to him: hide here, hide there, do something. Also, during the interview, what you're going to have with the cortisol secretion, a heightened memory response. Suddenly, some question that was asked to you, which you would probably heard about in your 9th standard or 10th standard, or something which is which is something that you have long lost and forgotten, suddenly you would remember because of the cortisol secretion in the body. This is one of my favorite. A friend. I mean, a fight. Now, this fight is from our Sholay movie. Now, people who are not really familiar with this is a fight between a hero and a villain. Any kind of fight. What will happen? This is also see with the cortisol secretion, or a more relatable concept, so to say, being intimidated by the boss, or a cricket match. All of these plays, you would see that cortisol has a very important role to play. Cortisol is the stress hormone that we are speaking about. So when you are being intimidated, you're going to have increased immunity. Can you imagine? I mean, not being affected by whatever your boss is saying, you have to thank your adrenaline for that. Then also, when you are fighting, you're going to have lesser sensitivity to pain. So that is also because of the cortisol secretion. And during the matches, when the cricket match is there, and especially if an India-Pakistan match is happening, there is so much of stress on the players. But what cortisol helps in is that it helps you in maintaining that internal stability. Even though you are in a very stressful situation, that stability is governed by cortisol. So not such a bad hormone after all, right? But now let's look at the situation of a sustained stressful situation. For example, a financial problem, or an issue with a marriage, or some kind of chronic illness, or a court case perhaps. Now let's go back to the same situation where the dog is running behind. As I was telling you, that the dog is running behind, and there is so much of cortisol secretion which is happening in the body. There is increased heart rate, there is increased glucose metabolism. Now, if you consider the same situation in all of these places, these are short-term situations that we gave an example. But when it's a sustained stressful situation, there is increased glucose metabolism for a very long time. There is increased heart rate. There is buzzing mind and an abnormal secretion of hormones. Keep it with you now as an information. Now, if you see, after stress response, what happens as some result? For example, the bullfight. Now, this man won the bullfight. Probably the fight was over. So now we have the full the full cast of Sholay together posing as friends. Or maybe the job interview gets over, you get a job. When the boss is finished intimidating you, you are probably as cool as you were ever. And when you are finished with the match and you've probably won, that's also there. So then after that, these situations you see. But what happens is that when you are in a sustained stressful situation, since it is continuously happening and you are facing it on a day-to-day basis, it's very difficult to get the relaxation response being triggered. So in the case of sustained stress situation, the relaxation response does not get triggered, which is why the biggest issue happens. The reasons being that we are also involved in multiple things, multitasking, perpetually competing, lifestyle habits are not so good, and we have been ignoring the symptoms for a larger period. For example, you are facing a lot of stress and you're not able to sleep well. If you're not able to sleep well, then this is something that you should have addressed maybe after a couple of days. But with a sustained aspect of insomnia also, you keep ignoring because you have to keep thinking of something else, and you have to also manage so many other tasks in hand. that the ignoring something which is as a symptom occurring to you becomes like a normal habit, like a normal response. As a result of which, the stressful situation keeps growing inside within us like a virus. Now, what we have to understand is that, if the dog is running behind us and we are cycling and cycling and cycling for a very long time, what is finally going to happen is that we are going to be completely exhausted. We are going to experience a lot of fatigue. We are going to have suppressed thyroid function. The immune system is going to go haywire. Our blood sugar is going to be very imbalanced. And the cognitive responses of the body also are going to reduce. For example, if somebody is asking you something, you would probably be thinking, oh my God, I remember this, or my memory is, I'm losing my memory. This is becoming like one of the common things that you would see, especially in cases where people have just recently suffered a trauma and or someone's close one's death in the family. So that kind of a trauma, after that you would see that they're not they're also suffering memory losses, like they open the fridge and they don't know what to pick up, or probably they have kept something on the gas and they've completely forgotten about it. So these are also indications to say that the body is kind of tired. It's also trying to tell you that you need to instigate a relaxation response now. So I mean, if you keep cycling for almost 6 months or 1 year continuously, I think the dog is going to get tired and you are going to over exhaust yourself. So that is how you have to visualize the stress response in the body. What are the stress symptoms? See, there are immediate symptoms to the stress, there are prolonged symptoms, and then there are chronic symptoms as well. The immediate symptoms of the stress are something like headache, fatigue, just not being able to be participating in situations or in different events in the family, not feeling some things that you were looking forward to earlier. Now it's not really something that you actually want to look forward to. Depression is also one of the very common symptoms of stress. Prolonged symptoms include, as I was saying to you, insomnia, excessive worrying, irritability, anxiety, maybe getting into some kind of addiction like smoking or drinking, not being able to, not feeling that very hungry also sometimes, and sometimes overeating, sometimes undereating. That's also a very common symptom. Now, what happens is that once these symptoms start accumulating, then gradually it keeps growing and it becomes into a chronic symptom, like a high blood pressure, increased cholesterol, like an irritable bowel syndrome, or a gastritis or acidity, and even in obsessive compulsive disorders or many other psychosomatic disorders like a clinical depression, and so on and so forth. So stress is something which cannot be taken in a very which cannot be taken lightly. It's something which is also a natural response in the body. But having said that, it's very important that you have to understand that stress is something which is affecting you and which is percolating in different parts of your system. So it's something that needs to be taken seriously. It's something that needs to be worked upon. Now let's come to something which is going to be of our main interest today, which is the identification of your stress type. I have this very interesting sort of a questionnaire, which is basically going to tell us if you belong to a Veronica category, if you belong to an Archie category, or if you belong to a Garfield category. This is basically based upon the Vat, Pitta, and Kapha body type understanding, which is Ayurveda understanding. Each of us individuals are actually formed of 3 different body constituents, a combination of 3 constituents. Throughout our life, these body constituents keep altering because of the situations that we are in, because of the health issues that we are in, because of the circumstances that we are in, because of the seasons, even during the day. There are, however, a combination of a predominant body type which is there. And here, just to give you an understanding of what is your predominant body type, in order to understand that what kind of a stressor or what kind of a stress type personality you are. So Vayu, Vata, Pitta and Kapha are basically 3 body constituents which are controlling all the body symptoms or all the body systems and the different movements within the body, whether it is nervous system, whether it is respiratory system, whether it is a digestive system. Everything is being controlled by the combination of these 3 body constituents. This is the physiology of Ayurveda. It's called Tridosha theory. So let me just take you through the different types of summarizing Veronica. Veronicas are Vat Pradhan body types. Usually Veronicas as Vat Pradhan body types are going to be the body types which are tall, they are thin, and no matter whatever they eat, they don't gain weight. So yes, they are the people who are envied the most, especially when it comes to women. These are the women who are envied the most because they don't gain weight no matter whatever they eat. They're tall and thin with a very good metabolism, and they are very active in their speech. So they'll keep talking, and there is no comma or full stop in between. Their hyperactivity is a characteristic sign of a Vayu Pradhan Sharira. What's very interesting in Veronica also is that they're also excessive thinkers. They're very creative individuals, but they're excessively thinking. They're not able to fix their mind on one particular aspect. For example, if somebody tells them that you have to start fasting on a Monday, or you have to start or you have to please Lord Shiva, then that is going to happen on Monday, and then somebody else will tell them that no, do Thursdays, and then they're going to start doing Thursdays. So there is no consistency in terms of their thought pattern. So excessive thinking, easily wavering mind. Sometimes they also seem to be lacking determination or self-confidence, but they are very quick to grasp ideas. Emotionally, they're very anxious and nervous kind, but they're very adaptable also, and they have a very creative bent, as I was telling you before also, and they like to be in fashion. So Vat Pradhan body types are usually the kind who like to be in vogue, who like to wear the color of the season. Spiritually, as I was saying, that there is extensive changeability, and there are too many variations in nature, mood, and they don't have strong views about anything, and they have fluctuating energy levels. So in general, if you want to consider a stressful situation for say Vat Pradhan body types, then probably if say a Vayu Pradhan Sharira is the driver, and if they're driving on the road, if the car meets with a small accident, they're going to create a huge deal about it, as if their car is like half broken and probably needs to be taken to the garage straight away. So that's usually the kind of exaggerated stress response that comes across from a lot of Vayu Pradhan body types. Physically, when the stress is hitting upon the Vayu Pradhan body type, then they are going to start experiencing insomnia, constipation, joint pain, fatigue, and low blood pressure, or sudden weight loss and loss of appetite. Let's move to the next. These are the strongest body types. These are the Pitta Pradhan Sharira, the Archis. Now, Archis of our body type varieties are basically the ones who have a medium build. They have blood rushing to their faces, so they have reddish color of the skin, firm joints, very strong people, very good with debate, very strong leadership skills, discriminating, and quite judgmental also. So they would be the ones who would immediately judge the person the moment they're going to meet the person. They're not going to be the type who are going to give a lot of room for telling people that kind of exploring more and more in terms of the character. These are people who do not have too much time. They are the go-getters. They're good communication skills, they're perceptive, and they are hard to please. Emotionally, these are very dominating and strongly opinionated people, and they do not take criticism very well. So that's also there. And but because also they are also perfectionist in nature. Spiritually, they are courageous, they are karma pradhan people, egoist, yes, and self-righteous also. So, and more or less, you would see them authoritarian and somewhat diplomatic. In terms of stress responses, let's consider the same situation of probably, like a car accident situation. When the Archies would be witnessing, would be the drivers, and if the car meets with a small accident, Archies are the ones who get out of the car and who create a scene with the other person and say, okay, you come out and I am going to fight with you. Archies are the ones who get into frequent fights. They're overcritical. They get agitated easily, and they're sometimes possibly violent also. So they are the ones who you see on the road who are rolling up their sleeves and saying, okay, so what do you have? Physically, with over the prolonged stress responses, what Archies usually experience is a lot of acidity, headache, high blood pressure, and they're also impulsive a lot of times and get into addictions very easily. Garfield. Garfields are the cutest ones. Garfields are the ones who do not want to do anything. They are the ones who want to lay back, chill, watch TV, eat some food. They do not understand that why the world is moving, why everybody is rushing. They don't see that. They are usually in the body types, they are short, easily putting on weight. You know why? Lazy. They have very nice hair, oily skin. Mentally, they are lethargic. So there is no sense of urgency whatsoever. But they are very intelligent people, but they are lazy enough to use their intelligence. So, as I always like to say, that they are bogged by inertia, but they are very focused at work and they have a very sharp memory too. Emotionally, Garfields are the ideal husbands. They are romantic. They don't fight too much. They're sensitive. They're family oriented. They're conservative, and they're conventional, and also tend to cry. So, of course, that's brilliant qualities to see in men. Spiritually, Garfields are not strong believers, but they are loyal believers. They are devoted. Uh, once they have their faith system established, then nothing can sway them away. If they are non-believers, then they would remain non-believers. But if they are strong in their faith system, then nothing will sway them away. Also, like the Pitta Pradhan body types, they are easily falling into the addictions. But Pitta Pradhan body types, the Archies would be able to come back from addiction if they put their mind to it. Garfields, it is a little difficult for them to fall back or to withdraw back from addictions. To summarize the stress responses that the Garfields go through, the same kind of car accident sort of a situation. Garfields are the one, when they get their car hit from behind, they look into the rear view mirror and they see that, is it that bad? And if it is not that bad, then they don't need to pay any attention to it. And probably they just would go and keep driving ahead. So they are the peacekeepers. They don't really mind anything. Commonly occurring physical problems because of prolonged stress responses is that of throat infection, sinusitis, weight gain, and they tend to sleep a lot. So that's also a kind of a stress response for Garfields. Now, very important to understand is that what stresses Veronica's, Archies, and Garfield. So Veronica's, what stresses them a lot is something which is an irrational or something which is a hard to get of a goal. In offices, especially if they have a deadline, Veronicas are fully stressed about deadlines. They are not able to, if they are not able to match with the pace of the others, that also, because they're also competitive in nature, if they're not able to match with the pace of the others, they feel that they are falling back. That also stresses them quite a bit. Archies, on the other hand, they need to have a meaningful life. If they're finding little meaning in life, that also becomes like a stressful situation for them. Someone else succeeding in competition, not at all acceptable for Archies. And too many rules, too many questions, less freedom, not acceptable. And when they are not able to take time out for themselves, that's also a stressful situation for them. For Garfields, on the other hand, the stress may come from a steady tension in a relationship. For example, the Garfields would be the kinds, who would probably be witnessing as a child. For example, if the parents are fighting, a Garfield child would feel a lot of stress. Or as a husband, if there is a fight between a daughter-in-law and a mother-in-law, then the stress is coming onto the Garfield husband, the Garfield middleman husband slash son. Uh, there is also the one of the stressors for Garfields is the less excitement day after day, and too many demands. They don't want too many things actually. And if people ask them to do too many things, now go for a walk, do this, do that, get up in the morning, and you have to bring me this, and I have to buy this, and we have to buy a home, and we have to buy a big car. Garfields are completely stressed out. Also, not surprisingly, physical strain. Garfields don't like physical strain. That also is a big stressful situation for them. Now, what is important is that in order to understand that what exactly are we trying to do here? We are trying to see that we are trying to achieve a state of balance, achieve a state of health and well-being. Each of these three doshas exist in combination. Each of these three doshas is supposed to be in a balanced state of harmony, of a state of harmony within the body in order to bring about health. In different phases of our life, based on the situations that we are facing, based on our past, based on our brain training, based on our attitude, based on our diet, based on our financial status, based on our relationship status, as I was saying, all of these body constituents are going to change. We change all the time. The dominant doshas, the dominant body type, however, remains unchanged. And therefore, we are able to understand that this is predominantly our kind. And how is it in future? These are the kind of health problems that we can foresee in our body. For example, Veronica's, when their system is a little bit out of balance, they start experiencing anxiety, they start experiencing insomnia, being spaced out, body aches, constipation. These are very typical signs that the vayu in the body is being vitiated or disturbed. For the pitta pradhan sharira, for the archis, when the pith in the body is disturbed, then they would start experiencing a lot of anger, acne, acidity, hair fall, diarrhea. All of this because the system is going to the system is the metabolism increases, and it shows a lot of heaty reactions in the body also come about. For the kapha pradhan, entirely opposite takes place: lethargy, bloating, being complacent, feeling heavy. These are the kind of disturbed responses that you would get. So for all the Veronicas out there, I don't know how many of you guys were Veronicas there, and how many of you guys were Archies, and how many were Pittas. But for all the Veronicas out there, what you need to do is that you need to have a very well planned and nourishing and balanced diet. You need to develop patience, discrimination, develop contentment in life. Yoga is a is a perfect form of exercise for all Veronicas, because it would help in calming down the mind. It would help in putting across a healthy body weight. And meditation is a very important aspect that all Veronicas need to inculcate in their daily schedules, in their daily regimes. Veronicas are very creative and social people. They can use this as their strength and ensure that they do creative work, which will help them face and manage the other challenging areas of life. Most importantly, what Veronicas have to remember is that they have to keep faith in themselves. For all the Archies out there, what's important is that you have to eat smaller meals. You have to take a lot of fluids, use less spices, and this is for the diet regimen. What you have to do in terms of cultivating the right kind of attitude is cultivate humility, modesty, and reduce your anger. You should always avoid the judgmental attitude, because everybody has a lot more to offer. When we are judging the other person, we are basically limiting the other person's capacity to our own experience. The other person could be so much more. So we have to decrease the judgmental attitude. That's a very important lifestyle correction. Cultivate a balanced view. And Archies are doers, they are go-getters. They have to put their energy into the right direction. They can be great leaders. finding a goal in life, finding an important larger message in life would help all the Archis big time. Calming music is very good for the Archis. Cultivating cooling practices of pranayam like Sheetli and Sheetkari pranayam, very, very helpful for Archis. And last but not the least, our Garfields. Very important, please lose weight. Do not eat large portions of food. Eat light. Prefer eating during the day and avoid eating during the night. Avoid eating or drinking anything cold. Prefer warm food and liberally use spices. Decrease possessiveness. Garfields are very intelligent, but they need constant motivation. So if they can, if you guys are Garfields out there, you can engage yourself in crosswords, in puzzles. It will help you in fighting the mental inertia. And if you are feeling stressed, then this is going to help you in not falling into the inertia, which is going to be a stress response for Garfields. And it's very important that you engage in competitive sports. Garfields need to have some competition in their minds. So it's going to be very important if they engage in competitive sports like table tennis, squash, etc. And more often than not, what's important is that all the Garfields must avoid getting into depressive scenarios and avoid overeating and oversleeping. So with this, I would keep a tab on my presentation here, and I would like you guys to ask me some questions if you have any, and I would be happy to help you with stress related issues if this is something that we can use the yoga science for. If there are any questions surrounding around Veronica's or Archie's or Garfield, as I was telling you before, that you would be finding a dominant body type within you, but you would also be seeing different combinations. So you would be, for example, a medium built body, which is a Pitta Pradhan body, but you would probably be having a mind of a Garfield. So, medium built, but not really competitive or not really a go-getter, lethargic, lazy. So there's a combination of Pitta and Kapha also. Different people would be present in different combinations. You can actually take different kind of test Tridosha analysis, which are available on the internet. You can take different Tridosha analysis, see for yourself which body types you are, and perhaps then use all of this to for your own aid. There are different kind of yoga practices, yoga pranayam, that help the different body types. If you are a Vat Pradhan body type, Surya Pedi pranayam is one of the pranayam which is going to be of great help to you. If you're going to be a Pitta Pradhan body type, then as I was saying, cooling pranayam like Sheetli and Sheetkari are of great help. For Garfields, for a Kapha Pradhan body type, Bhastrika, Kalbhati, these are the kind of breathing exercises that would be of great help. So if there are any questions, guys, that I'll be happy to help you out here with anything that you have in terms of the questions. And I guess there's nothing much that's in terms of the questions here. And I hope that this session has been of some help, since it's an online medium, as I was already caveat before. It's not very easy in online medium to interact, but I hope that it opens up some kind of a door towards understanding the different body types, the different kind of people that we are, and to also deconstruct the stress that we are in, because at the end of the day, it's just a situation. It's just a prevailing circumstance, and if we put our mind to it, if we try to not get overburdened by it, and if we take it step by step and kind of break it down to pieces and deconstruct how the entire personality type is, then we'll be able to solve our stress much better. I hope, and I thank Shivir once again to bring this forward to a lot of people. I hope this has been of some help, and please be de-stressed, please be happy. Stress is something which is also a state of mind, and it's something which is needed to start every day. Look at it in that perspective. Do not get overbogged by it. You can easily control it. You can easily manage it. So wishing you all the very best, and wishing you all that that you have to stay safe during the corona phase, and stay healthy and stay safe in your houses. So thank you so much for your time, for all that you have shared, and all the very best for the stress-free, happy life ahead. Thank you.